Hey everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through a complete multicam edit using Blackmagic Design's new speed editor control surface in DaVinci Resolve 17's cut page. Now, we recently released a full video on how to use this device, and you can find a link for that in the description below. Let's get started. So as I mentioned, in this video, I'm going to walk you through a multicam edit, specifically using the sync bin and the live overwrite functions. Because all my source clips I'm working with have matching timecode, we can do some incredible match frame editing in the timeline with this hardware. So let's jog over to where we see the flames flare up. All right, so maybe at this point we want to cut to another angle. We have 3 different cameras we can use here. To find those angles, you want to do is locate the sync bin button and press it once. What the sync bin does is it shows you all of your camera angles that are precisely synced, either through timecode or waveform, at the same place that the playhead is in the timeline. So when you move the scroll wheel, the jog wheel, notice that everything is in sync. And you see a multi-viewer, you see camera 1 and camera 2. This particular clip only has a second angle. There's no third angle. Later we'll look at a section where there's 3 angles, but for this, there's only 2 angles, kind of a master shot and a side shot. But the point is these 2 angles are ganged together. You can see as I jog over the clip. So let's go ahead and pick a place where we want to cut. So let's jog to watching the camera 1 angle in the multi-viewer. Let's jog to where the flames just get really high, right about here. That's a good place. And here we're going to cut to the side angle, or camera 2. So in the camera section of the speed editor, locate the camera 2 button and press it once. The camera 2 source clip now loads into the source viewer, and notice it's pre-marked with a 5-second duration. This is too long. We want to shorten it, and we want to set the out point after we hear the host say, "That's really warm." So let's play from here.
Oh, wow. That's really warm, so make sure you step back.
Oh, let me do that again.
That's really warm, so make sure you step back.
So I just marked an out point on the fly. So play it, that's really warm, press out, and you have your in and out point. Now, before we edit this clip into the timeline, I want you to notice that this camera 2 angle has audio. And if we edit it into the timeline, we're going to be doubling up the audio because the master clip already has audio. So we only want to bring down the video portion of camera 2. On the keyboard, locate the video only button and press it. It will illuminate when it's active. Now we want to overwrite this clip at the playhead location using what's called the source overwrite button in the intelligent key grouping in the upper left. Press once, and you've just added your first multicam cut. To play this back, press the timeline button to bring in focus, the timeline. You've jogged back, and let's play this.
Wow. That's really warm, so make sure you step back when you do that one.
Super easy and super fun. Now let's look at another way to do this that will give you more visual context as you edit. It's called live overwrite. Press the escape key twice to undo that last step. Your playhead should still be in the same position where we want to cut to the second angle. In the multicam section of the keyboard, locate the live overwrite button and press it. First of all, it becomes illuminated, indicating that it's active, but more importantly, it brings up the sync bin. So it's the same view that we had before, but it has a slight different variation in how you use the tool. In the live overwrite mode, you actually paint on the angle. Here's what I mean. Locate camera 2, because at this point you want to cut to the side angle. You want to press and hold camera 2. So you're holding down the camera 2 button. Now I'm going to use the search dial and I'm going to rotate clockwise. And watch what happens in the timeline. It actually starts painting on the angle. So notice as you move the search dial, you're making the angle longer or shorter. But what's nice is I have context now. I can see in the multi-viewer where I want to end the cut. So here, I want to end the cut just before the host turns to the camera, right there. So I can end the shot there. Release the key, press timeline, and now we can play back.
Wow, that's really warm.
So we have context in the live overwrite mode. Now we're going to add another cutaway a few seconds later. Now before we do that, notice that once we switch to the timeline mode, the live overwrite was automatically turned off. So to bring the angles back, go ahead and press that, and we're back in the sync bin mode with the multi-view. Now one thing that will mess you up is that if you still have video only on, you won't be able to hear the audio. It just assumes that you're using video only. So you're going to want to turn off video only. And now you can hear the audio. It's a little gotcha, but beware of it. So I want to jog until I hear the host say, so make sure you step back.
It's really warm, so make sure you step back.
So right there, make sure you step back. Now I want to cut to the second camera. Again, I want to hold down the camera, but remember I want to do a video only edit. Press video only, hold down the camera 2 key, and paint on the second angle. And I'm just going to paint on until the host starts saying something about her eyebrows being intact, right about there. So I have context. Maybe I'll cut right into her little phrase there. Press timeline, and let's play this back.
You step back when you do that one.
Eyebrows okay?
Yes.
Intact?
Nice. And if you're not really happy with where the edit point ends, remember you can go back to the trim out key, press and hold, and then you can also trim it this way if you want to maybe move it back a little bit.
Yeah. You have step back when you do that one.
Eyebrows okay?
Yes.
Intact?
Perfect. Let's go back and see if we can spice up another section. Let's go back to the shot where she's cutting the shrimp in half. Let's go back to right before she's about to fillet the shrimp, right about maybe something in here. Now to bring up all the angles, press live overwrite. Now in this case, we do see 3 angles because there were 3 cameras shooting with synchronous timecode at this point in time. So as I move the scroll wheel, we're seeing all 3 angles in perfect synchronization. So let's try cutting to camera 3, the overhead, right about here. So press and hold the camera 3 button and go ahead and paint that angle on. Just keep painting on until she removes her hands and you can see the filleted shrimp. Perfect. Let's press timeline and play that back.
Just like that. Crunch down all the way through. A little bit of
lovely.
muscle.
Awesome. Now we're going to look at a slight variation of live overwrite with mode key modifiers. So there's this mode on the keyboard that if you select live overwrite, you have some additional keys that you can add with your angles. For example, you could paint on an angle with a dissolve, or with a smooth cut, or a close-up, or a transition. So let's say we want to paint on an angle and include a transition and include a close-up. So we're going to go ahead and press dissolve, it illuminates, and let's press close-up, and it illuminates. So we have 2 things going, a close-up and a dissolve, and live overwrite is enabled. So let's jog back, and perhaps right about here we want to cut to camera 3, the overhead. So press and hold camera 3 and start painting on. Notice as you paint on, a dissolve is automatically added. But also a close-up. If you look in the left multi-viewer, that's a close-up. So I want to wheel over to the end of camera 2 there, and release the key. So now, if I press timeline, camera angle 2, Angle 3 with the dissolve and a close-up. Now, it's not centered, so I want to go over to the close-up key, press and hold Y position, and then use the jog wheel to position this down. About there, something like that. And
from head to tail.
Nice. So we've added a camera angle with live overwrite and a close-up and a dissolve at the same time. Also, the transition's a little short. Maybe we want to make it a little bit longer. Notice there's a transition duration button. Press and hold. And now when you move the wheel, you can change how long you want that transition. You can make it really short or make it really long by using the scroll wheel here. So make it a little bit longer. Press play.
From head to tail. Just like that.
And that's multicam editing in the cut page with the speed editor. So what do you think of the new control surface? Leave your comments below. So I want you to know that all of us at Ripple Training wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.